always have to make an entrance, don't you, Kid Flash?
What can I say? It's great to be back.
What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video. And guys, you like the video, give a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe because I have this great piece of content that you don't want to miss. And guys, Flash, it's season 6, episode 14. And guys, this episode, it's been 2 weeks since the last one. The last one was really good, Gorilla Grodd. And they've been teasing Wally West's return. And guys, on Instagram today, Grant Gustin actually, whenever this video comes out, I'm hoping by today, but if it comes out tomorrow, then yesterday, Grant Gustin posted a photo on his Instagram showing him in the Flash costume with Kean Lonsdale, which I think that's how you pronounce his name, the guy who plays Kid Flash in his costume. And guys, that got me super excited for it. The promo got me excited. And guys, jumping into this episode, the very first scene is just amazing, right? Because you see this one Russian girl, I think. Well, this girl from, she mentioned Santa Prisca, which that's actually the place where Bane is, guys. Like, that was a cool reference, alright? Like, they had a reference in Gotham in Black Lane last episode, which that was like cool. It was like, okay, they're referencing DC lore. But hearing Santa Prisca, which I hope I'm pronouncing it right, alright? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But that's where Bane is. A lot of stuff happens in that place, alright? That area. So it was cool referencing that. But this girl and this other guy are on this helicopter and they almost get killed, alright? But Kid Flash goes in to save the day, and I like to see it because it shows like Caitlin and Camilla are in like Star Labs, and they're like, oh, Barry's got it, and Barry comes in, he's like, I got what? And Kid Flash actually comes in and he like duplicates himself like 4 times. My first reaction was like, finally, something that Kid Flash can do that Barry can't do. Because yeah, we've seen Barry like make like a time remnant of himself and cause Savitar, but we haven't seen him like do like multiple versions. Like you literally see Kid Flash have multiple versions of himself, and it like takes apart the helicopter and saves like the guy who's flying the helicopter and the 2 people in the back. Now, when Flash shows up, it's like, Kid Flash always wants to make that entrance, and Wally was just like, hey, I'm happy to be home, and they do that DC Rebirth hug, which I get, we saw the promo, like, that was great, but seeing it actually here, and then they do the knuckles, and it goes straight into, like, the new Flash intro, it was just really good. Like, that was a perfect start to the episode. Now, as the episode goes on, Wally himself, I really like him this episode. It's cool to have him back because he was a great addition in season 2. He really got good in season 3. Like season 2 is kind of like eh. Still, Wally was great in season 3, and when he came Kid Flash, and then season 4 they just like stand you go with him, alright? And I didn't blame the actor for not coming back, alright? But now that they have Eric Wallace on it, the actor's like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. And guys, his lines in this episode are very good. Like his scenes between him and Barry are very impactful and some of the most powerful scenes in the episode. But guys, we see Wally, he comes back, and I like the initial scenes. He's like with the family again, he meets Camilla, and he's with Cisco, he's all chatted up. It's like classic Wally, right? And even the scene when him and Barry like leave the place, it was very nice. But right away, it gets right into like the whole, oh, the Speedforce, like the Speedforce is dying. And Wally actually blames Barry, and his whole character arc in this episode is, hey, maybe I shouldn't be blaming Barry, because yes, I'm suffering, because I'm losing my Speedforce, all my speed that I carry on, and I pretty much kind of use it as like a handicap. Like, Wally uses it and he likes it, like, he feels like he can't do without it. But he blames Barry, but then he actually notices, hey, maybe Barry's suffering too. And he actually goes to be with Barry. He's like, hey, I'll actually comfort you. And they talk about it, and he tells Barry like a story about like a monk, about this girl. He told the girl to go around to like a different neighbors in the city. It's something like how to ask them if they lost a family member, and every family said yes, and tells, oh, other people are suffering too, so all togetherness. Like, yeah, that's a nice speech and all, but I like when Wally or Barry talking, it's just, you can see they have good acting. Like, both actors do a great job. And guys, the best scenes are Wally and Joe. Like guys, Joe, as always, just delivers. Like the actor is just the best actor on the show. One of the best actors on the show. And him and Wally, even the scene in like the police office when they're talking, it's like, hey, Wally, you can't give up, maybe you should check with Barry. I really like that. Like, it's better than that. Like, I'm not saying it's good. But Joe really sells it, and Wally, you see he's mature. Like, you see Wally in this episode, he's more mature. He's not like, oh, just jumping to conclusions. Like, yeah, he does jump to the conclusion that, oh, Barry did all this. But automatically, instead of being like to Joe, nah, you're wrong, I'm right. It's like, I actually get that. He goes to Barry and comforts him, then teams up with Barry, has an awesome fight against the villain in this episode. And at the end of the episode, when he gets his send-off, it's really good. But I like how they have the whole thing. It's like, hey, check on Iris. I think she's like, I don't think that's Iris. Like, something's wrong with her. Go check on her. Joe's like, huh, I didn't notice that. I like that they have Wally notice that. Because, yeah, he's going to be gone a little bit, but when they do find out that, they're going to be like, man, Wally's a freaking genius. Like, he actually noticed that. But still, Wally in this episode was great, and I hope he comes back later in the season, because he's just such a great character. He was great in Season 3, and even Season 2, like, too, because even though that one episode, the whole, oh, save Wally and give up my speed with Barry and stuff, I didn't like that. But other than that, Wally on this show has been so great. I hope they bring him back, like, at least to the season finale, alright? Bring him back, please. But guys, other than that, let's get into the whole death of Speedforce, like the main storyline this episode. You see, so like I said, Wally tells Barry, hey, what you do, and Barry actually finds out that back in Crisis, when Oliver unlocked his full potential, when he did that, like, I didn't think anything of it back then in the crossover. I was like, okay, he just needs to get full powerful and save the universe. And pretty much that actually caused like a meltdown in the Speedforce, and now it's dying. It actually dies in this episode. Like, the Speedforce is dead. So, and the scene where Barry's in the Speedforce, I like the whole green lightning and stuff with Barry and Wally in there. It has like that extra like dark tone to it. Like, man, this isn't the Speedforce that we know. And when Barry actually goes back in and is with his mother Nora, and he actually kind of sees her die again, it's emotional. It actually brings like that story arc together very well. Because early in the season, when he was going against the Speedforce with like blood work and stuff, he pretty much went against his mother in a way. He didn't care about it. But now here, with the whole Speedforce, and actually seeing it die, and kind of like, it's like a metaphor to how his mother died. Like, not even a metaphor, like, it's literally, he watched his mother die again. It has that emotional impact, and like that impact, like, man, I did this. And guys, I like when Wally comes in, just like I said earlier in this video, when Wally's like, hey, I would have made that call too, like to save the universe and cause the death of the Speedforce. I would have made that call. It's not your fault. At least it's not like something like Flashpoint where he intentionally, like purposely went back in time, wrecked everything, and then thought, hey, I can just piece it back together. No. Barry's actually matured, and Wally has too, so seeing both of them matured and working together in this episode was great. But by the end of the episode, the Speedforce is dead, and Barry wants to create a new Speedforce, alright? To combat the Reverse Flash, which we'll get to that later in this video. Like, I'll talk about that. I have a lot of thoughts on that. But guys, the villain in this episode, other than Reverse Flash, is the Turtle 2, which, I didn't care for her, alright? I didn't really care for her. Like, there was some cool effects with her and stuff, and with, causing people to, like, grow older and kill them and stuff, and the one, like, her sequences were cool. And the fight with, like, Flash and Kid Flash against her was really good. But some of the stuff didn't really make sense. Because I don't get, like, when she, like, stopped time and went up to Joe, wouldn't that stop time entirely? Like, I get, like, it stops time, like, the police office, like, the police place. But outside of that place, Barry, Caitlin, they're all still like talking regularly, which I don't really get that. Like, it was a little complicated. If you guys can explain the comment section below, that would really help. But I feel like some of it didn't really make sense. And her as a character, I guess she wanted to get revenge and stuff. Like, it wasn't the best character, but she served her purpose for the episode. Like, it was nothing like carried down the episode. It was still fine enough. Like, I'd rather than like, place like a normal villain that kind of connects to like Flash's very first like villain, the Turtle. I'm fine with that. They don't have to be like super developed. But I hope next episode or the next time Wally and Barry like team up against a villain, I hope it's a villain that actually like strikes them and impacts them. Like, have them go against the Reverse Flash. That would be dope. But guys, speaking of the Reverse Flash, actually before I get to that, let's talk about Nash and Cisco, right? Because we're leading into the Reverse Flash, right? I'm gonna gradually getting to that. But guys, you see Cisco, he comes back. I love his scene when he comes back. He's like, oh, welcome home. And then he realizes, oh, they're saying welcome home to Wally. Like, he has a lot of funny lines in this episode. And he has a great scene with Caitlin, like, hey, go talk to Nash and stuff. And even a great scene with Nash, where Nash is like, hey, I think something wrong is going on. Like, he tells Cisco, he's like, hey, I'm seeing ghosts and stuff. And Cisco's like, no way, I went around the world, I figured out stuff, that can't be true. And Nash leaves angry, and Nash actually gets taken over by the Reverse Flash. So when Cisco finally realizes, hey, I should own up to myself, be more nicer, go help Nash, and he comes and he's like, hey, let's do some myth busting, it's all nice, and then automatically he knows it's like, oh shit, like that's the Reverse Flash when he's like, Cisco. And when he comes up, and I thought he was gonna face his hand, go straight through him, just like from season 1. Like, that still sticks in my brain, guys. When I think it was one of the episodes of season 1. It was the one where Barry goes back in time, like the first time he time traveled. And you see Cisco, like, he actually finds out that Harrison Wells was the Reverse Flash. He was the very first one to find it out. Well, technically Pied Piper was, kinda, but Cisco was the very first one on the show to find it out. And guys, when, like, First Flash just puts his hand right through Cisco, that was great. And they keep, like, showing that throughout the series, but every time they bring it up, it just hits you. You're like, man, that's some nostalgia. And this episode, when he tries to do it but can't go through Cisco, and they actually have, like, a fist fight, I really like that, because it was, like, unique. It wasn't like, oh, Cisco is powerless. No, he actually got to fight off Nash. And, well, not Nash, Reverse Flash. But the only thing I didn't like is that Cecile took him down. Like, I was like, okay, I get he doesn't have his powers and stuff, that makes sense. But Cecile, like, really, like, she's better as comic relief, or have, like, actually a good storyline, but don't have her, like, beat Reverse Flash. Pretty much, so she beat him, and he gets locked up in Star Labs, and the scene where Barry shows up, and he's like, he's actually not even fazed by Reverse Flash, like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna kill everyone you love. It kind of sounds like, which character was that? I swear there's a character in the Flash. It was either Zoom. I feel like it was Zoom. Alright, I feel like it was Zoom. But he tells him that, and Reverse Flash is like, hey, I tell me if I'm right, but in a couple weeks your Speedforce is gonna be gone. It's pretty much Barry and Wally. The Speedforce is dead, but they have like the last bit of it to carry them forward. But slowly it's gonna be draining away. So Reverse Flash is like, hey, your powers are gonna be gone soon, and that's when I'll come out and I have my own negative Speed Force. Like, guys, if you don't remember, pretty much he created his own Speed Force, and in the comics he did that too, and actually had Barry, he drove Barry crazy and came like negative Flash. That was a great storyline. But pretty much he has his own Speed Force, so he's gonna stop his power. So when he gets out, Barry will be powerless, Cisco won't be able to fight him, so he can just kill everyone he wants. So that's what drives Barry to be like, hey, I gotta create my own Speed Force, because if I don't, everybody that I love will die, and I won't even be able to fight off my arch nemesis. And Barry's not really phased, but once he hears that like Reverse Flash is like, hey, I know what's going on. I know that your powers will be gone soon. Barry actually starts to realize, shit, I gotta figure something out, or everything's gonna go wrong. Now guys, this was great. I'm excited for the next episode to see how it carries forward, but the only thing is, like, a lot of stuff's happening in Season 6 right now. Like, they're having Godspeed coming soon. They're having freaking Reverse Flash in there, Mirror Master, Black Hole. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I hope it just doesn't, like, crumble under the weight of everything by the end of the season. Because this season is really great. I love this season so far. I don't know if it's the best season yet. It isn't. Like, I really like Season 2 and 1. But it's still a really great season and, like, a return to form for the Flash. Because the Flash hasn't been, like, bad. Like, Season 5 and 4 weren't bad, but they weren't the best either. Where this season's like a lot more better and stuff. And even though like the marketing kind of sells it a little too much, like the marketing on the Gorilla Grodd episode, Wally West episode, this one, and they're all like, they're hyping it up. I got so hyped up when I watched the episode. It's still great, but it doesn't meet my expectations. Which you're probably like, Ethan, you have too high expectations. Like, this is a great episode. I agree with you. This is a great episode, and I do have high expectations. But I think that just goes with the whole marketing strategy they're doing, just putting like the best parts in the trailer, kinda. But still, I'm excited to see what happens next, and I want to see how all this like wraps up at the end of the season and how it goes into Season 7. But guys, the other thing that happens in this episode is with like Edith McCulloch and with Iris. Iris still hasn't found out that she's actually the villain, and Edith McCulloch is slowly like just pretty much manipulating her and manipulating like Team Flash with Iris. And Iris even like throws Barry off. She's like, hey, maybe once the Speedforce is gone, you can have a normal life, you won't have to save people again. And Barry's like, what? What are you talking about? And he doesn't like pull it off. He's not like, hey, you're not Iris. He's kind of like, you know what, I believe you. I'm like, come on, Barry. But the only person who has figured it out is Wally. Actually, scratch that. Camilla did too, but she can't really do anything about that now. Because at the end of this episode, she pretty much gets shot by the mirror gun and gets sent to the Mirrorverse. That's what I think. They didn't kill her off. Like, I barely doubt that. Like, she's gonna return next season. But she got sent to the Mirrorverse, and Iris is still playing out her scheme. But I hope they kind of wrap that up soon, like Team Flash actually finds out, so they can deal with Eve McCall and push the story forward. Because guys, it's been 5 episodes, alright? Well, 4 episodes that Iris has been like not Iris, so they kind of need to push that storyline to the next level. But yeah, guys, overall this episode was really great. Great special effects, great action sequences. Obviously, the Wally and Barry stuff was the greatest stuff, and the Reverse Flash stuff was really good. The Turtle, like, still good, like, decent villain, but not really memorable. And the whole Mirror Master stuff needs to get to the next level, but for now, it's good. And I'm excited for next week's episode because it looks like Reverse Flash and Flash will finally be fighting again. Like, I've been waiting for that ever since, like, last season, alright? When Eobard Thawne said, hey, see you in the next Crisis, and he didn't show up in Crisis, I was kind of mad, but hey, if he's come back now, I'll be fine with that, alright? Like, as long as we get a good Flash and Reverse Flash battle and some good stuff, then I'll be happy. But overall, guys, I'm going to give this episode an 8.8 out of 10. Solid episode, great opening, great stuff, and I totally recommend it. Go check it out. But guys, if you like this video, give a big thumbs up, and hell yeah, bro, subscribe to the channel because I always great content every day that you don't want to miss. And yeah, guys, that's the video, and peace out.